In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro delves into a variety of pressing topics, including President Trump's recent foreign policy maneuvers, the implications of trade tariffs, and the spectacle of the Grammy Awards. The discussion begins with a focus on the Panama Canal, where Trump has made significant strides in asserting U.S. interests against Chinese influence. Shapiro explains the historical context of the canal, built by the U.S. and later handed over to Panama, and highlights concerns over Chinese control at both ends of the canal. He notes that Trump has threatened to take action against Chinese encroachment, emphasizing the strategic importance of the canal for U.S. military and shipping operations. Shapiro discusses Trump's recent victory in persuading Panama not to renew its Belt and Road Initiative agreement with China, marking a significant shift in U.S.-Panama relations. This decision is seen as a blow to Chinese influence in Latin America, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio playing a key role in these negotiations. Shapiro underscores the importance of the canal as a vital shipping route, which can significantly reduce transit times for military and commercial vessels. He also touches on the broader implications of U.S. foreign policy in the Western Hemisphere, particularly in light of ongoing crises in Venezuela and the mass migration issues affecting the U.S. Transitioning to economic matters, Shapiro addresses Trump's announcement of potential tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico, and China. He explains that these tariffs, which could reach as high as 25%, are part of a broader strategy to leverage negotiations with these countries. Shapiro argues that while tariffs can be a useful tool for gaining concessions, they also carry risks, particularly for American consumers who may face higher prices. He emphasizes that trade deficits are not inherently negative and critiques the simplistic view that they represent economic failure. As the discussion unfolds, Shapiro highlights Trump's ability to use tariffs as leverage, citing recent negotiations with Mexico that resulted in a commitment to deploy troops to the U.S. border to combat drug trafficking and illegal immigration. He notes that this move is a significant win for Trump, showcasing his effectiveness in foreign policy and trade negotiations. Shapiro then shifts gears to the Grammy Awards, providing a humorous and critical commentary on the event's fashion and performances. He expresses his disinterest in the music industry while highlighting the bizarre and often outrageous outfits worn by various artists. From Chappell Roan's extravagant attire to Jaden Smith's literal house hat, Shapiro critiques the lack of substance and the performative nature of celebrity culture. He also discusses the political statements made during the awards, particularly by artists like Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, who attempted to address social issues through their performances. Shapiro argues that these attempts often come off as insincere and disconnected from the realities faced by everyday Americans. He points out the absurdity of celebrities using their platforms to discuss complex political issues while being out of touch with the average citizen's concerns. In a broader cultural analysis, Shapiro examines the Democratic National Committee's recent leadership changes, highlighting the election of Ken Martin as chair and David Hogg as vice chair. He critiques Hogg's rise to prominence, attributing it to his status as a survivor of the Parkland shooting rather than any substantive political experience. Shapiro argues that the DNC's focus on identity politics and celebrity endorsements reflects a deeper disconnect from the values and concerns of working-class Americans. Throughout the podcast, Shapiro maintains a critical tone, emphasizing the need for political leaders to engage with the realities of their constituents rather than relying on performative gestures and celebrity culture. He concludes by reiterating the importance of understanding the implications of U.S. foreign policy and trade decisions, as well as the cultural dynamics at play in contemporary politics.